Hi there! So this video is going to be about Yunhi and the lessons we can learn from it. Now Yunhi is a drama which initially was very annoying to watch because Kim's character was kind of difficult to swallow. But over time you realize that it is again our own preconceived notions and our own biases which force us to look at Kim in that light, like in that negative light. So I thought it would be fun to really analyze the drama and try to figure out what lessons we can learn from it. Now, I think, yes, it did start off a little rocky and but at the end of the day, we did end up really challenging a lot of the stereotypes which actually exist in society. So my first lesson from Yunhi would be that we should not make assumptions about people based on how they dress or where they are from. Like Kim comes into Pakistan thinking, that all Pakistani people are cheats, they're just greedy for money and for the green card. She has all these biases against people who pray and she thinks they're conservative, they're illiterate and all that jazz. Similarly, people in Pakistan have these ideas about her because she wears a jeans and a t-shirt. So that is like, oh my god, she's wearing Western clothes. That means she has a bad character. And so that is nothing to do with how a person is or how a person could be. Like before judging people, we should always remember that every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. So anybody can change themselves at any point in time. There's no real, there's no obstacle. There is an obstacle, but that's themselves. They can choose to completely turn themselves around one day and then you would be the bad person talking behind their backs. My next lesson is something I was really annoyed with Kim for. There is a time and a place. Not everything has to be said to everyone all the time. Like, honesty is not bad. Honesty is a wonderful trait. But if you don't know when to be honest, if you lack tact and you lack the tact or the common sense to know when to say what to say, and you need to be able to adapt to your surroundings and really pick and choose your words or how you say something. Like the same thing, you can tell somebody that same thing but rephrase it in a way that it seems nice to them, right? So you can tell somebody, oh my god, you're so lazy. Or you could tell them, you know what, maybe you should apply yourself more. And these are basically the same things, right? But what this one has a negative connotation attached to it, it will make them feel bad, while on the other side, you're saying the same thing, you're getting the message across, but you're also not hurting their feelings or making them get defensive in the process. And so this is something which I really want people to understand, that we often see this like in everyday life as well. People just lack tact and they call themselves straightforward. But being straightforward is something completely different. You cannot just be mean to the people around you and say, oh, I'm just so straightforward, that's why I just say whatever comes to my mind. That's not how you're supposed to live. So my next lesson is that marriage is not something that should be forced on people. And I think this should be like common sense, but I feel like marriage is being forced on people in our society. Marriage is not the solution to problems, right? Kim's dad thinks that if he gets her married, it will solve all his problems. She will decide to live in Pakistan, etc, etc. But marriage is not the solution. Neither is marrying somebody for greed. Like if you're marrying somebody because you want money from them or for like that wonderful rich and famous lifestyle, or if you're marrying somebody for a green card for that matter. These are all bad things. You're not supposed to. Marriage is a relationship. It's a social contract. But you don't do it in greed. Greed should not be the reason for something as pure as marriage. My next lesson is that it is imperative that people change and adapt with the changing times. Now this was a wonderful thing to see. I think this was one of my favorite parts about Yunhi, was how the father and the grandfather changed, right? Not Kim's dad. Kim's dad is like this secondary character, we've realized, and Kim's dad is a nice man, etc., etc. But the way Suraya's father changes and he decides that no, I want to be there for my daughter. I want to support my daughter in her education and in whatever way she wants to do. The way this man empowers his daughter is something, it was very heartening to see that the addition of Kim into the household has really positively changed at least the men of the household. The women I feel are very, Suraya's mom is very, she's very set in her ways, but we are seeing her change as well, sort of mellow down a bit. But the men changing. So Suraya's father, when he decides, when they find out that she was about to run away, and then she's like, I don't want to get married to anybody, but I want to complete my education, etc., etc. And he's like, yes, I want my daughter to do that. I want my daughter to be empowered enough that she can, choose a groom for herself. She can continue to study and, work hard, etc., etc. And I think this was a wonderful change. This was such a positive change. And then Dada Jan just completely turning, like this man has been so set in his ways, and whether it was just hearing his own daughter talk about the life she had and the troubles she had, and eventually and realizing that I have been biased, I will choose who my child marries, or staying in caste, and that the caste system and all of this system has hurt my child. I think just that realization and then wanting to change. Dada Jan's switch was impeccable. It was wonderfully done. It was so heartening again to see the men of the family really step up and change themselves and their own thinking. With this whole Dadaji changing thing, I want to really highlight how this is a very important lesson as well, that we should not be judging people based on how much money they have or how much money we think they have. Just because we think we are like a better caste or higher up in social status from somebody does not mean we have a right to disrespect them. Maybe they're a better man, maybe they're a kinder man. So Zulfi in this whole regard is shown to be, he's kind, he's compassionate, he takes care of the people around him. So what if he does not have a factory? He has a shop, he's doing well. And that is the important thing. The important thing is that his social status, when you compare the social status and the character should be really more important. And this was a wonderful lesson to see. Dadaji, the whole Zulfi and Iqbal moment, and Baat Pakki and all that stuff, it was adorable to watch. It was so cute, and it was wonderfully done. Now my next lesson is also in line with this. So this is all very familial problems. So women of the household should be allowed to participate in decision making. Now Suraya's mother is often put on the back seat and told, you're a woman, go to the kitchen, make me chai. It's all about the tea in the household, and she's just running around trying to feed everybody and just household stuff. But whenever it's time to really sit down and talk about something important, she's always sent out of the room and told to not speak up. And the first time when the grandfather decides he's going to change his ways, and he calls her in and says, what, we need to get Iqbal married and I want your input about it. That I feel it was such a crossroads. Again, this point, that those 2-3 episodes in the drama in which all of this was happening, these were so well done, and they were such important episodes in the sense of word that they really showed character development. Every character has had a journey, and now they have developed to the point where they're changing for the better. So this was again a very important point I wanted to add. Okay, another very interesting lesson was that religion should not be forced on people. Now, we've seen it time and again, people being forced to cover up, and if I get married to you, you have to cover up and wear a burqa, cover your face, etc., etc. But one of the very important lessons in this drama was that you should not be forcing your partner into religion. Religion is something very personal, and it's really important that if somebody finds religion on their own and they really read about it, they discover it, and they want to follow it like properly, let them do it. But it's a journey for everybody, and everybody has like different destinations at different points in time. What we often forget is that if you try to force somebody into religion, they're probably going to run away from it more, right? So the best lesson would always be to be that impeccable, wonderful, inspirational person, so that when a person sees you and they ask you, why are you like this? And you say, it's because I am a Muslim, and as a Muslim I have to be a certain way. So they get inspired to learn more about Islam and follow it eventually. And so this is what we see in Kim's relationship with her husband. And this man is calm, he's compassionate, he's kind. This man is an absolute angel on earth. He is so respectful in spite of how annoying Kim can get. But he never a word out of line, never a word which could hurt her or offend her. He's perfect in every way, and he's shown to be this practicing Muslim, and she is really curious about what he's praying, and when he's praying or when he's doing anything related to Islam, and she gets really curious. So then she starts researching about it, and you realize that this is the actual journey, right? This is the actual journey. This girl who knows nothing about Islam, seeing this man who is doing all these wonderful things and is a practicing Muslim, and then getting inspired to really learn more about the religion and follow it, because she asks her mother-in-law to teach her how to pray. And so this is a very important lesson that I feel this is something that our society really needs to learn, because our society is like consciously forcing people into religion without realizing that forcing anything on anybody is most probably going to have the exact opposite effect. This one is about compromise. Now, marriage requires compromise. We all know this. We've all grown up hearing this. But marriage requires compromise from both parties. In most cases, we see that the woman is compromising and compromising and compromising, and the man does nothing. While sometimes, like in the case of Kim, this man is compromising and compromising and compromising, while Kim just is not. She's not compromising. She refuses to listen to somebody else's side of the story. She's just because she thinks she's perfect. She thinks she comes from this perfect society and she has been raised perfectly. So now she is perfect and everybody else around her is wrong, right? And so this is a very, again, in her stubbornness, this is like another lesson, which is like, in her stubbornness, Kim has made some very dumb choices, especially in these last few episodes. It's been like, I don't understand why everybody's character is being developed, but Kim is just the same ignorant, stubborn little girl who just has to do what she wants to do because she feels it's her birthright. Now, going to meet an ex, it's not, I don't think it's, no society really accepts this, the whole going to meet an ex or going sightseeing with an ex. No, this is not it. This is not it. Also, you're going out with an ex who disrespected you by cheating on you, even though your husband, who has been nothing but kind to you, has literally just told you not to. He has not even told you, he has requested that please don't go. If you're choosing, and your words and the words, I have committed that I would go do it, but you have a commitment made to this man as well, this man you married. That's a bigger commitment, right? Not telling your ex that, okay, I'll see that, if I have time, I'll take you around the city. That's not a commitment. Your commitment to your husband is more important. So, overall, and the last lesson would be that stop poking your nose in other people's businesses. We should really learn to mind our own business, and that if we try to disrespect other people, it will come back to us. Now, for the, poking our nose in other people's business, everybody's in each other's businesses in this drama. Like, everybody's so curious about each other. Suraya's Popo and Popa, the Popa's thing, I'm sorry, the way he behaved. He was like, you're basically trying to manipulate your family into cheating them for money. Are you like, marriage? You're marrying your son off to somebody's daughter, and in the same breath blackmailing them for money, that if you don't give me this much money, I will character assassinate that same girl who you want to marry to my son. Like, I don't understand this. And of course, we have Kim's brother-in-law, who, oh my god, that is one toxic character of this whole drama, is that man who has no self-respect. He was in love with Husna, and then one day he decides that, because Kim is from America and he'll get to go to US, so I will marry her, and Kim refuses, and then now he hates Kim and his brother Dawood, and he's just going around disrespecting everybody in the house. So that boy deserves a slap. And he's just constantly disrespecting people, and nobody respects him either. Again, if you disrespect other people, it always comes back to you. But it's just icky to see. It's icky to see. So this was lessons from Yunhi, and I hope you liked this video. Yunhi was a nice drama overall. In conclusion, I'm sure the drama is ending soon, and in conclusion, I think this was a nice drama. I'm still waiting for Kim to learn a few lessons. I'm waiting for this gentleman boy, the brother-in-law of Kim, to learn a few lessons as well. I want everything to sort of come together and be tied up in a nice little package. The ending should be like, not leave any loops out, or it should all really come together. But I think Kim still has a long way to go. Everybody else has had so much positive character development, while Kim is just, it's like she's a rock and nothing moves her. She's just, I don't understand how somebody could be this dumb. Honestly, the last episode was hard to watch. It was very hard to watch. Her going off to see George, in spite of her Dawood saying don't, it was just hard. It was painful to watch. It was like, why are you doing this? There's no reason for you to do this. This man has done everything possible to make your life easier, and you're still choosing to do this. Make it make sense. So anyways, I hope you like this video. Do subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.